TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?
Hello and welcome to episode number 148 of Bits and Pieces. I might be wrong, but I believe Rahul Dravid scored 148 in one of the most famous away test wins in Indian cricket history back in 2002 in Headingley. And here we are, once again, ready to celebrate another very famous Indian away test victory. They're coming much more often now than they used to back in 2002. Nobody gave India a chance at Perth. They landed up after having lost to New Zealand 3-0 at home. They came without their captain, without one of their best fast bowlers, without their mystery spinner, and their batsmen completely out of form. Few batsmen who were in form getting injured in the simulated nets. They ended up going into the match with two, some would argue three debutants, and one specialist wicketkeeper who played as a specialist batsman. And yet, they managed to win very convincingly despite being rolled out for 150 on the first day. My name is Nitin Sundar, and I'm joined by my good friends Sandy, Murli, Tony, and Max to celebrate this wonderful, wonderful Perth Test match victory. Over to you guys. Let's start with Tony. Tell us your first thoughts coming out of Perth.
Two things I want to say. One, 2002, like a typical guy from Ahmedabad, you are asking us to forget the score and not remember that year. Enough social commentary. Second, usually your intros involve a bait and switch, but here you avoided that because India itself did the bait and switch by turning up with 150 in the first innings and then like running riot. What a crazy, crazy win. This is Rebirth. I think this is what we call it.
In fact, I was trying to go for bait and switch. I said this team landed up in very alien conditions, one of the toughest away assignments without their main batsman. But enough about New Zealand beating India 3-0 at home. It didn't seem right. It didn't seem right to do that. So, yeah, this is too pristine an occasion to do such ugly stuff. So, we are sticking to straightforward narrative.
I thought Toddy will say that after New Zealand's loss, the only thing that could have made him happy was Kohli's century, and that happened in this test. But did you see the joy on Tony's face, let alone Kohli's face?
The most joyous faces in the ground were, as in the most joyous faces in the world, when Kohli got his 100. First was Anushka Sharma. Then it was, I believe, some other players relative who were sitting next to Anushka Sharma trying to hog the limelight. Number 3 was Tony Sebastian. And number 4 was, a distant number 4 was Virat Kohli. So
same as his batting position.
Number 4 was that baby that said was not Anushka's baby, it was some cousin's baby, but it was still happy for his century. You didn't see that post. That was number 4. That was
whose cousin's baby is that?
somebody that Virat Kohli's sister put some post saying that is not our
Suresh
baby.
Raina.
I don't know, for some reason I forget what was that century where he had like a 2.5 year drought or something and then he came back and scored. To me, this was a bigger deal than even that he got to score this in a really, really important situation. If Kohli could have done this in any better situation, I cannot think of one. This was an outstanding century.
Yeah, we should talk about Kohli's 100. But before that, I think we are not Star Sports, so we will not randomly keep talking about Kohli when he was like the 4th most or 5th most important contributor. This is, by the way, true, guys. So we had access to both the global feed, some of us, and the India feed and the global feed at the same time are showing two very different things, right? The Kohli cam comes on randomly between the match presentation and the post-match pressers. Star Sports randomly started doing some Kohli package one more time. Like, it is insane how much they love Kohli. We'll talk about Kohli, but I think it is only fair to start with Jasprit Bumrah, guys. I don't think any of us gave India a chance in this test match, to be very honest. Right? If anything, it was more in hope. I think Varun Murli believed that India had a strong chance to win, but he says a lot of things. So, the chances of India pulling off a win in this match was so low that we were not actually angry to see that suddenly KL Rahul was pitchforked back into opening. Not because Rahul is not capable as an opener, but because they had very clearly said they're not going to make him open. But Rahul opening, Dhruv Jurel batting at number 5, and then Nitish Kumar Reddy as debutant out of nowhere, right, having played IPL, and Harshit Rana coming into the 11, and Ashwin and Jadeja, both of them not being included. Kuldeep Yadav also not there, and some would argue Akshar Patel is the 4th best spinner in India. So not any of those guys, but Washington Sundar on current form. This is a very, very strange kind of 11, right, to start with.
I will first eat shit on this because when I did the last episode, myself and Adi we said that it is going to be a 3-1 or a 4-1 drubbing for India.
Very much on target, by the way.
It still can happen. So I also said that when I'm having dinner, the score is going to be 50-4, and I'll be drowning those tears with some nice beer that I had bought. So, and everything was actually going that way. It was actually 55-4 or something when I was having dinner when KL got out. So, and then I went to sleep, and I wake up in the morning, and this is absolutely fully reversed because I wake up and it's 150, and then Bumrah has happened like anything. So that was the biggest surprise I had. Seeing 6 wickets down when I wake up was not something I was expecting at all. What Bumrah did in that third session was phenomenal. I think that's what changed everything. Champion.
There was a point in the press conference, I don't know if you guys saw the press conference, where Bumrah was asked this question. Of course, Indian journalists ask outstanding questions. This journalist asks, do you know, sir, that as a captain, you are there? And how do you feel knowing that when it's difficult, you can just pass the ball to Bumrah? Like, how does that feeling happen that, you have a Bumrah with you and you can just pass the ball to him? They asked Bumrah this. Bumrah, in a matter of course, so much like so shy, feeling like one 5-year-old who asked, like, he was given 10 lollipops. He's like, I don't know, but I have a really good team. I think the team has played really well. I'm also happy I'm able to contribute. But I don't think Bumrah himself understands how much value he really brings to the table. Sometimes I think what could have happened if we did not get those first 3 or 4 wickets after the 150 all out. I think the entire nature of this game could have been completely different. The fact that he bowled just that 8 over spell or whatever he did, that changed the nature of the game, the way things set up. It gave even the batsman confidence that they could bat afterwards in the second innings. So many things happened as just a result of that one spell from Bumrah. It's very rare for us to feel like there is a bowler from India who's the best bowler in Australia right now. Any Sana country where we go and we feel like one of our bowlers is the best bowler on that country right now. I think Bumrah has made us feel that, which is the reason why we've got a win out of nowhere. So when you ask, are we surprised? I think we're stunned.
No, but in 2018 also, Bumrah was the best bowler in that series, right? Like head and shoulders above. We all remember that Sean Marsh wicket that he took, and in Perth there was one incredible spell as well. Bumrah has been doing this, and I also think he is well aware of how good he is, right? Of course, he tries to be as modest as he can, but you can see at times that he's like, guys. I think there was sometime recently someone asked, no, who's the fittest player in India or something? And Bumrah said, yeah, I am the fittest player. He literally said, Kohli is not. I am, because I am a fast bowler.
He said, I know what you want to hear.
Best thing about Bumrah's performance was Sanjana Ganeshan's Instagram story, which said, "Great bowler, even greater booty," right, and a nice shot of Bumrah's bedex.
Booty is sooth booty.
And then basically someone else tweeted saying this is not just Sanjana's husband, he is national husband, which someone else quote tweeted saying Rashtrapati. That is what we've elevated Bumrah to now. Right?
Tony, is it Rashtrapati or Rashtrakundi?
National husband, Rashtrapati.
In Hindi, what does Rashtrapati actually mean?
Hey, President,
President.
Oh, Rashtrapati means president, okay. But president means national husband. What the fuck? Your language is messed up, guys. I'm sorry.
That is what it means. But
Okay.
like patriarch, no, the one who takes care of the family. It is a non-woke term.
How many people can name India's current president? Can anyone here name India's current president? Who is your national husband?
It is
Draupadi
not that
Murmu.
Draupadi Murmu. It is not Draupadi Murmu, Ilya.
No?
It's not Draupadi Murmu, Ilya.
More pertinent question is who is India's vice president?
Iman Pandey is the president of Indian Vices. So,
No, the last vice president you remember will be Venkaiah Naidu. After that, several people have come.
Venkaiah Naidu used to be vice president.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So what I was coming to was Rashtrapati Bhavan means House of President, and Bumrah was safe as houses, right? Very reliable in this test match. And he also lifted the whole team. He was like one man who lifted the entire Indian team all by himself against the foreign team and made us do well. So it would only be fair to call him Rashtrapati Bhuvan as a nod to Lagan as well. And he was the captain. Like out of nowhere, like the captain, there's no leader for this team. Suddenly they said, okay, somebody has to lead this team, and Bumrah showed up. So yeah, Rashtrapati Bhuvan. I think I agree with you guys. India took their biggest steps towards winning this test match on the first day itself. But let's also we are all aware that India's batting has been so bad in the recent years that even when you had them 60 for 7, you thought Australia had a very good chance of getting close to India's score and India collapsing in the second innings. Right, I remember when India had the lead of whatever 48 runs, we were like, can these guys at least get this to 175 so that Bumrah has something to bowl at? And we know in recent years, targets of 200 odd, even 300 odd were chased against India with Bumrah in the side as well. The batsmen also came to the party this time. In fact, I was listening to TGC and they said this was the perfect test match because everyone in the 11 contributed something, including Devdutt Padikkal, who did not contribute anything and made it easy now for Rohit Sharma to come back into the 11. So that was the role that he was picked to play. Before we talk about Bumrah, right, we have to talk about India's batting on the first day. Because while they got 150 and that is a low score, the pitch was really hard to bat. It was the kind of pitch where teams can get rolled over for 60, 70, right? It was as hard as what they faced in Bangalore on the first day against New Zealand. But KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, and Nitish Kumar
Nitish.
Reddy just batted so well, and 150 was not a bad score at all to get in those conditions. Let's talk about Rahul, guys. Nobody is giving Rahul the credit that he deserves for this test match. Now they're saying they might drop him.
No, on staying on Reddy, like 73 for 6 or 75 for 6 when Sundar parts. At that point, you're thinking hundreds are going to happen. That partnership with Pant is what takes him. I think then Pant drops off at like 100, 120 or something, then Reddy keeps going. And the second innings was, man, guy was like, in fact, sorry, Tony, you can close your ears. I would actually say Reddy egged Kohli onto his century. Like the way he was going before Reddy and after Reddy, you can notice a marked change in the way Kohli was scoring once Reddy started going after all these guys.
Of course, Pant is a special breed. He does not care what pitch it is, how it performs. He will come and do things that are just inconsequential to whatever other people are doing. He'll just do a wholly different thing. But Nitish Reddy playing that innings and also at the strike rate at which he was playing it allowed us to be able to have something on board. And in the second innings, he plays one flick off of Marsh or somebody for 6. And at that point of time, he looked like a different breed of bat. Didn't look like a 22-year-old who's traveling to Australia for the first time. And then he whacks Labuschagne for 6 over mid-wicket as well with utter disdain.
My God, he hit Labuschagne and Mitchell Marsh with utter disdain. My
He
God.
literally set it up and said first day hardest to bat early on top. Nobody has given KL Rahul credit, and we are talking about Nitish Reddy hitting Labuschagne for 6.
You asked
on day
about
3.
Nitish Reddy. KL Rahul has been given enough credit, I think. People are now comparing him to Labuschagne and saying he's got the best front foot defense in this entire 22 and all. KL Rahul has enough credit. I think enough people are talking about how good a player he is, and he still got to number 3 for no reason, or number 6 or probably lower.
Poor KL Rahul. When people are giving credit to KL Rahul by comparing him with Labuschagne, this is supposed to be some kind of appreciation, apparently.
Labuschagne is a pretty good batsman at home. He just had a bad lean patch. Then Kohli came from a much leaner patch, so it's the same thing.
Okay.
Guys, the shot that Pant played in the first innings, I still can't understand. Of Cummins, ball was outside off, and he paddle pulled or whatever he did, and it went for a 6. It's amazing what shots he can pull off, and in whatever situations that we are in.
Guys, have you seen a better shot? Do you guys have a more distinctive, memorable shot that you have watched in cricket? Don't say okay, Dhoni 6 over of Kulasekara. Of course, that was momentous. The occasion was momentous, but just in terms of the dynamics and the physics of the shot involved, I can't think of a better shot than the one that Pant played. It just so happened to be off Pat Cummins of all people.
The control percentage on that, right?
You're calculating control percentage in one individual shot also. This is amazing.
We're a cricket podcast. Apparently, that's what sells these days. No, but he was not in control. He's on the ground, but the ball is like clearly sailing over.
Yeah. Do you guys remember Washington's shot for 6? That was also something that we remember because it was out of the blue and we didn't expect him to play that shot.
But it's a shot that we have seen many times.
Pant reverse flicking Anderson for 6 in Ahmedabad was a much better shot than this. This is okay, man. He keeps doing this gymnastics shot. What is the big deal?
No, I actually feel this is a much more audacious shot. I know the shot you're talking about. Was it in Ahmedabad or Chennai that he played it? Wherever it was, that was a fantastic shot too. I think he played it in both places. I think in different tours or something. And that is the point, right? I was just thinking about this shot. I don't remember particularly which knee Rishabh Pant badly injured, right? But one of his knees, of course, was very badly injured in the accident, and he's reconstructed and come back. But even for someone with extremely healthy knees that have not been through a potentially life-threatening accident, that shot cannot be played without pads, guys. Do you think about that? The physics of that shot is only made possible with the fact that you can fall on your knees and then obviously also do the somersault. If cricket were a slightly different sport, that shot is not possible. Whereas there's no other shot that you can say which actually requires the pads to be there, except as protective gear from the ball.
All sweeps.
You don't land on your knee, man. You go down on your knee. Tony, you should stand up now and try to go down on your knee and see if you're able to do it. And then try to fall on your knee and see if your knee is okay.
Nitin Sundar, will you marry me? Oh, my knee is hurting. This is why they do this only once in life.
Give me a ring. Yeah.
I cannot believe that he thought that shot, and I mean, the commentators losing their minds is enough testimony to the fact. I don't know. It was not even like going down leg or anything for him to paddle. It was like I think properly on the stumps, and he says, "Okay, let me whack it over." And there was a fielder there as well. So everything about that shot was crazy.
Max, so congratulations to you, because if you think about it, the second innings was much easier for Australia this morning. So if you hadn't taken out 3 wickets last evening, you would have been in trouble. 3 wickets couldn't have fallen yesterday unless Kohli finished his 100. Right, and Kohli was batting 70 of 123 balls, and then Nitish Reddy hit 3 fours of Marsh, and then from 70 of 123, Kohli went to 100 of 143 balls. So in 20 balls, he zoomed like that.
When you said Tony, close your ears, he wasn't. He was listening carefully. Australians tried everything, right? They tried bowling, Labu, medium pacers. They tried everything, and I mean they lost. We humiliated them less. We could have played them for 5 days and humiliated them for 5 days. We've done them in 3.5 days.
Hey, you think Sandy is saying this chumma, okay? But actually, he's saying for India, really on the WhatsApp group, he's saying for India to have any chance, we should at least get 600 runs.
No, I said 500, which they got eventually. But with Bumrah, somehow every ball is an event, and I'm sounding like a certain analyst, but he makes every ball so interesting, and everyone's is just waiting for what happens at every ball, and it's so amazing.
The thing with Bumrah is, even when the 11 was announced, right, we always knew through Shami, it has to be a Bumrah show only for us to have any chance of taking, close to 20 wickets. It has to be a Bumrah show. The worry was always going to be of what the support cast would do, right? Same thing is going to be at Adelaide or Gabba as well. Even a bad Bumrah day is still 6 or 7 wickets in the test match, right? Because we were very wary of what DSP would do and Harshit on debut, right? But DSP didn't have a great series against New Zealand either. The DSP coming well, Harshit coming well, I think has helped a lot. Even Washi, because despite all my love for a certain gentleman, I had on the previous pod said that I would prefer Washi to be at that lone spinner spot, which he rightfully was. But he also did pretty well. He wasn't among the wickets or anything, but he was holding up the end. And even batting, I think that partnership with Virat was pretty crucial. Even though he didn't score too many runs or something, but he was holding there and making sure there was no further slide after Jaiswal and Pant. So yeah, it's a support cast that has helped as well, not just the superstar in a Bumrah or a Kohli. It's these other guys who have played around them, which you don't normally always see.
I wanted to say, for the tiniest brief period, I felt like Siraj looked a better bowler than Bumrah. Just for a small brief period in the middle, where I think Smith and Head were batting. Siraj looked absolutely lethal, and the way he got Smith's wicket, and I think that was a pretty important wicket too. I did not rate him before the series. I didn't think he should be picked and all. I thought if Shami was there, he'd be a better pick and all that. But now it'll be very hard if Shami comes back to just drop Siraj and pick him. Chips are down and all that. Siraj becomes like a different beast. It was really good to watch him bowl.
Siraj is always good when the pitch is giving him something, because in his mind, it doesn't matter whether the pitch is giving him something or not. He's always trying to bowl wicket balls, which means on a pitch that is not helping him, he's going to go for a lot of runs because he doesn't know how to pull back, right? This is exactly the kind of conditions where Siraj is going to come into his own, which is what happened on the last tour and happens off and on when he's suddenly unleashed on a deck, like against Sri Lanka in some Asia Cup.
Lords in
In
England.
1 over he took 4 wickets and all. Yeah. Yeah, Lords
So,
is another example.
important question: can India play all their home matches in Australia? What nonsense!
I fully
Clearly,
agree. I think we need a Pakistan type situation here. India's team is pretty much geared to play in Australia because Indians don't know how to play spin
Also, we have a Chakra Pongal supplier for them.
and stadium contractor.
Australia cricket offered that India Pakistan matches can happen in Australia if India wants. Now India will say no, we don't want India Pakistan, but all other matches will be in Australia only, except
let's
for
put WTC final in Australia. Come on, we should have done this several years
Correct.
ago. Nonsense.
India versus Sri Lanka, it's going to happen, but we'll get to WTC table in a moment. I agree that Siraj today was pretty exceptional, but you should also note that Bumrah for some time was, as bowling captain and senior statesman, giving bowling gaji to his teammates, where he said, okay, for 1 hour I'll let you guys bowl. You all bowl, let's see what you can do. Head then this guy had a partnership, and then Bumrah came back. He bowled 4 balls to hit. And the pitch map for that over is something, guys. Just go back and see that over. He bowls 4 balls exactly in the same spot. Okay, one bouncer he bowls, which goes wide over head's head. But he bowls 4 balls. All of them bounce exactly on that same length. 3 of them go with the angle. The fourth one comes in and then goes out. Right? And head nicks off. It is just brilliant. And head was batting really well. He had got a very good measure of the conditions. He of course likes to feast on Indian bowlers. And
He was taking on Harshit Rana at that point.
Nitin Sundar, are you saying each ball is not an independent event?
I didn't
Like
say
the
anything.
previous
I'm
five.
no, but
I'm asking you. The previous 5 balls had something to do with the dismissal.
100%. When did I ever say no?
I was
But
asking Nitin, are you agreeing with Manjrekar that this is Bumrah's best ball in Test cricket?
Which ball? The
Not
ball
just
that got
Bumrah,
hit.
he's saying of
I-
all time, right?
Manjrekar said that is the best ball bowled all time. My
In
God,
Test cricket.
that's a very big call.
I think we should stop listening to what people from Mumbai have to say. I mean, it's better for general health.
Yeah, please
includes
mute
includes
Sandy
you,
and
Sandy
Tony.
ji.
Since we spoke about Rishabh Pant playing the best shot of all time, arguably, let's also talk about which was the greatest ball ever bowled. No, I have 2 nominees which I would like to present
What the
first.
fuck?
Why not? This is a cricket podcast. One is, of course, the ball Wasim Akram bowled to Rahul Dravid in Chennai, right? The lead up and the dismissal. The other that I think is mind blowing is what Wakar Yunus bowled to Brian Lara, guys. Have you seen that where Lara falls down and gets bowled? That Yorker. Yeah.
The Malayali
If you have any
represents
nominees.
Srishant ball to Jack Kalisra. What is this you are saying? It is the best
Yeah.
ball of the century. Da. It is a number 1, number 0 also.
Now Tony is happy. First he was like, why the hell are you talking about this? Now he's like, I like this topic.
Ashwin's ball to Hashim Amla.
Oh, bowled around the legs.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow, well played, man. Sandy, I have special respect for this and all you're bringing up.
I am allowing Mumbai people to again have opinions.
Kind person. You tell what is the greatest ball you watched?
For-
Imamul Haq.
Warren to Basit Ali was probably one of my favorites because end of the day,
the theater leading up to the ball.
yeah, coming over and all that. That was one of my favorites. Also because I was at that age.
Sachin to Moin Khan was also good then.
Yeah.
Hey, Bumrah to Sean Marsh and Bumrah to Ollie Robinson.
Yeah, definitely.
Australia are out. I'm like, okay, fine, 50 lead. These guys will hopefully do something and get at least 200 or something. I wake up and it is 172 for no loss. But in your wildest dreams, you not believe that you'll be 172 for no loss at the end of day 2. Right? That was the most shocking thing for me. Like 150 all out, somewhat expected. That was fabulous, guys. And Rahul playing along with, because Rahul gets a lot of stick from the group and the general population also in particular. But I felt his role with the Yashasvi was far more important than any of the other innings of the day.
So we'll talk about Rahul, but about Jaiswal, right? When he got out for a duck in the first innings, I posted on the group that this now is 5 successive failures for Jaiswal in Sena conditions, and he's of course scored millions of runs at home, right? Because he had 2 bad test matches in South Africa in very tough conditions, and this was again a duck, right? He was repeatedly leaving the ball, and then the first time he tried to play a shot, he got out in the first innings as well. Then the innings, right, that he ended up playing, the 150, is very different from any innings we have ever seen from Jaiswal, because normally he likes to dominate, right? He likes to go after the bowling, especially once the spinners come, he likes to dominate. Here he was not going to get much of that. It was going to be just that amazing 3 fast bowlers. But the number of leaves, he was very, very patient and willing to spend a lot of time there. I think this innings gives me great confidence that Jaiswal, along with Imam Ul Haq, will be one of the greatest batsmen of the next 10 years, guys.
So Brad Haddon on the Triple M show, he had a lot of nice things to say about Jaiswal, because Jaiswal against spin, right? We've seen, like, when the moment Hartley came up in India, he just went after him like crazy, and then he tried to do the same thing against Ejaz Patel as well, and that's where he lost his wickets in the New Zealand game. But here he was much more measured. He knew when to leave. He was not just like going swashbuckling. And even when Lion came, it was not like how Pant treats Lion. He treated Lion also like a proper. He knew when to leave. He knew when to score. He was flicking, and it was not like uglily trying to just sweep like how he was doing against Ejaz or Hartley, coming down the track and all that. So he's like, okay, guy has 500 wickets. I will treat him with some respect, and scored runs. They were like good runs.
I have a very reasonable question to ask. Is the secret for Jaiswal to play so well with so much of composure and calmness the partner at the other end? I would say ban Rohit Sharma from opening with him, because when Jaiswal bats with Rohit Sharma, he bats like Rohit Sharma. When he bats with KL Rahul, he's batting like KL Rahul, which then also means KL Rahul should stop batting like KL Rahul, because otherwise Jaiswal will also get out for duck.
The only person who understood this pitch was KL Rahul. First innings still is anywhere not out. He hit some pad hit, bat hit, boot or something, and then they sent him out like an idiot third umpire blind guy. But that innings also, he had about 50 of 130 balls, and he would have definitely played it out. Whatever Sanjay Manjrekar says a bullshit about him using fate, he didn't use fate. He knew when not to use his bat. He was very careful in ensuring that the fourth and outside line he's just not going to touch no matter what. And he was very careful to ensure that he's not even going to take the effort to lift his bat up, because like Bumrah-Gambhir has done it, and the Rubish shot, he thought that also could still nick him and send it to slip. So he never even brought his bat out. He was very careful, keeping it super close to his pad and simply not playing any fourth stump and outside. And he told Jaiswal 100 times, just don't play those balls. There is a bounce that could rise up. You're not the tallest guy out there. You're not going to ride the bounce. Wait it out. Let the ball become a little softer. Let the movement reduce, and you will start playing your shots. And he did. His last 50 runs, or the way he scored after that, was it was a whole Jaiswal. He was blunting the six of Lion, or the flick six to someone near mid wicket, and all was signature Jaiswal, knowing that he could walk over bowlers. But for that, he needed to have KL constantly talk through him. I credit KL for a lot of whatever went right in our batting this time, which is the reason why I still argue that if he opens, maybe we have a better chance against a new ball. With Rohit, I feel like every other batsman is also under a little more peril.
No, the ironic thing is that obviously Rohit will open in the next match and captain also. And he will have the kind of pressure on him that KL Rahul has had for the longest time, right? Because everyone is crediting Bumrah and Kohli apparently with the captaincy in this match. Everyone is crediting KL Rahul's opening in this match. Now Rohit is walking into a mountain of pressure, basically. And the only person who can advise him is KL Rahul, who knows how to be hated by everyone and still play in the team. Right? So he also needs to take advice from KL Rahul, just like Yashasvi Jaiswal did. KL Rahul, man, he's the real deal.
It's not what's going to happen, but I hope it happens, is that Jurel and Rohit swap. But imagine, guys, like they have a start, and then Pant and Rohit are there, for the second new ball. It'll be carnage, but they won't do that, unfortunately.
A simple question. I know in operations they used to ask this, right? If you impregnate 9 ladies, can you have a baby in 1 month type thing? But can Ritika Didi have one more baby so that Rohit Sharma can miss the second test match also?
Or whoever is bowling to him in the nets, like slightly give one nut graph and let him rest.
Then no more babies, basically. Okay, wait. But
2 stones with 1 bird.
Ollie Stone. But KL Rahul mentioned on the sidelines that he sees a lot of himself from 2015, which is when Rahul made his debut in Australia, failed in the MCG Test match, then went to Sydney as opener and scored a century, right? And his opening partner was M. Vijay. And he said M. Vijay was very helpful and guided him quite a bit as the youngster coming and opening. And he felt he saw a similar kind of thing in Jaiswal, who was opening in these tough conditions, got a duck in the first innings, etc., and thought he should play the role that Vijay did. The funny thing is, if you look at Rahul right now with that beard and that long hair, he's actually looking a lot like what Vijay used to look at that stage in his career.
Neither of them could dodge a mullet.
Related moments of the match, I think the one where Stark says to Harshit that I bowl faster than you and I have a great memory. and Harshit very nicely, after a few balls, bowls a bouncer which hits Stark's head,
The
saying to Stark,
clarification there is the ball doesn't hit Stark's head. Stark puts his head onto the ball. Okay.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
It
yeah.
just didn't bounce high enough.
Ball
It was
didn't
what
bounce.
And then Yashasvi, while batting, says to Stark that your
Not-
balls are you are bowling too slow. And I mean, imagine a guy, 22-year-old, going to Australia for the
Yeah.
first time and saying this to a very fast bowler. I mean, he has got some swag.
You also should think he said that to the weakest link of the bowling attack. He couldn't have said that to Hazelwood
Hazelwood.
or anyone else, right?
Hazelwood bowled an incredible spell.
Outstanding bowling.
Entire
Impressive.
test.
It is the sort of spell Bumrah used to bowl and not get wickets, and we're like, what is this? What is
Hey,
happening?
Exactly.
Ishan Sharma, da, this is what Ishan Sharma used to do, not Bumrah. Bumrah would always get wickets.
No,
Poor
Ishant would
Sharma.
never finish with 21 overs or 29 runs. This last spell, he'll give away another 50 runs will go. So, yeah.
Like Bumrah got the support from the other bowlers, and Hazelwood didn't get any from Stark. And Lyon also was pretty unimpressive. Cummins probably had a few in there, but Lyon and Stark were both off the boil, and that's where their problems. Because Stark is like a completely vibes-based guy. Either he's in or he's not in, which is also somewhat the case for Siraj as well, right? If it's a flick the switch on, he's there and he's unplayable, but otherwise then he's terribly pedestrian, almost like this is second division kind of stuff. And that was what was happening, because that first spell when Stark opened the bowling, he was unplayable. But after that, slowly you could see he was tailing off in that first inning itself. And second inning, I didn't show up.
But this is what happens when two openers just bat long, right? India batted 5 sessions, and in Test cricket now, fast bowlers are going all out all the time, right? They're not playing the long game. And on this pitch, there was no reverse. So if you could not do it with the new ball, then you were waiting for the second new ball, right?
So you're saying batting is not irrelevant in test cricket. But on behalf
be.
of our Australian correspondent who was not joined, in the words of Hank, did India win this match or did Australia lose in this? Come on. Talk about Australia.
Australia are truly rattled, especially after India batted for so long and ground them into the heat and dust and the hard pitch of Perth, right? And Perth is known for being an unforgiving place if you're bowling long spells, because it gets really hot, unlike other parts of Australia in the summer. And Hazelwood came out after day 3, right, and said this thing. They were asking Hazelwood in the presser about what can Australia do to save the match or whatever. And Hazelwood said, I don't know, ask the batting group because I'm going to get a massage and relax.
He was
because I need
pissed
to get
off,
ready
I
for the
think.
next
He
test
was
match."
like, "Hey, I'm bowling like one machine.
was
I'm coming
pissed
and
off.
delivering." And Mitchell Stark,
Yeah.
although I think he's an overrated bowler, he is giving like 5 runs and over or something. Like he's just coming and sending like full length balls where everybody's driving to their heart's content. He's gotten supremely pissed off, man. I think he just told them.
But the way the Australian media has reacted, and former players, I think Gilchrist or someone brought this up, is that there is now a rift between the batsmen and the bowlers in the Australian lineup. Because what really pissed off Hazelwood was not so much what Stark did or Lyon did, but about the fact that they were 13 for 3 at stumps.
Who are the Australian batters?
All of them.
Which one? Steve Smith, Labuschagne.
Please.
Labuschagne,
Hey, Tony Vanda, please. No BNP jinx, please. I cannot. You take bets against Carey and McSweeney, Sydney Sweeney, all that's okay. Steve Smith and not don't poke, please.
Smith is loading, boss. Smith won next match. He's going to give it.
Don't ever poke Steve Smith, please.
Smith was looking pretty good today, by the way. Of course, the pitch was not the same, but Smith was looking good until he got a good ball.
You will go to MCG and you will witness a Smith double century, okay? So please don't poke that one.
We will all slap you when that happens.
Also, the person who started this whole problem was not an Australian commentator. It was Ravi Shastri. Sitting in the center, he asked questions. Why is Hazelwood saying this? Like on Trump, what is the problem with him? If somebody said that about our batsman, do you think our batsman will be okay? Like that, he went and did nice nibs. Then the Australians pounced. Wow, that was really hot.
Correct.
They just, So Ravi Shastri is sitting there comfortably making all of these things. He's happy. He's riding the wave beautifully. Of course, he started this trend for Indian Test cricket in Australia. So I give him the credit. You do the nibs. You deserve to do so. So I think he's having fun.
But this is one beautiful thing about Australia's former cricketers, right? They are waiting to kibosh their team, literally. Whereas India is the opposite, right? Like the Indian commentators are always cheerleaders. Australian commentators are waiting for these fellows to fail and they'll pounce on them with whatever they get, right? I think on TGC, they made a good point, which is that Hazelwood probably is just a bad guy to send to press conferences, because he also during the World Cup said this controversial thing that maybe Australia will consider losing to Scotland or whichever team they were playing in order
Yeah,
to
yeah.
so this is the second time he's gone and said something which a lot has been read into. So maybe they should just stop sending him to the press
They don't
conference.
get his sense of humor. That's all. Nothing more than that.
But he's like the Ashwin of the Australian team then.
No, but Mark Taylor, he also had very nice things to say about Jaiswal and the way Jaiswal was playing and taking on the temperament. He said he was very impressed by the temperament. They kind of showed. So Jaiswal has clearly gotten a lot of love from the ex-Australian cricketers and so on.
No, they're not just appreciating his temperament, they're also appreciating his tenterment, because they keep talking about the fact that he lived in a tent in Bombay when he came there.
Yeah,
entire poverty porn. And I'm just surprised nobody drew the analogy that, he's used to pitching tent and batting for long periods of time.
They ran two segments, because I get the Australian feed. They ran one segment on Rishabh Pant, right from, they went to this exact place where the accident happened and they were shooting on the road. And
Yeah.
they also went to
Hey, that was Bharat Sundaresan, no?
Yes, friend of the pod, Bharat Sundaresan
was Bharat Sundaresan there when the accident happened? Then he's the reason for the accident. He's very distracting to look at on the roads.
Was it? Is this similar to Michael Atherton taking boat and going to Shamar Joseph's Island or something?
Very similar. Right? They needed this for the mid innings show. And
so guys, poll, would you rather watch poverty porn on Australian broadcast, or would you watch the same Kohli package for the 745th time on the Star Sports broadcast? The answer is you watch bits and pieces. This is where cricket comes alive. Thank you. Plug is over. Next.
You're plugging your own podcast mid-podcast.
Yeah. During this hype over Yashasvi and all that, of course, enough people, Mark Howard, Darren Lehman, everybody. In the middle of this, Darren Lehman randomly took one tractor and ran it over Joe Root. I don't know if you guys noticed it. He just ran out of nowhere. He's talking about people he rates. He's like, Yashasvi is the future. He's going to pile on records. He's going to change everything. Look at the man, temperament, blah, blah, blah. Suddenly he says, I don't rate Joe Root at all. He has never scored any runs in the Ashes. Look at all these other batsmen, Kohli, Yashasvi, Rohit Sharma. They've scored across the world. They can score any conditions. Joe Root, I don't rate him at all. Harry Brook, I rate. Joe Root, I don't. And then he went back to commentating again. I was just like, dude, why did you do that? I love Australian commentators, man. Special breed.
Darren Lehman looks at Joe Root the way a lot of us look at R. Ashwin. What else to say? Yeah.
No, but Joe Root is a really good spinner. What is this analogy?
Guys, he has some trivia question. Can you please?
Yeah. So 4-4-11-11. Can you tell me what are these?
Where Steve Smith used to bat, where Steve Smith is going to bat.
This is so broad a question.
These are the number of no balls in each innings. And Australia bowled 55 extras in our second innings.
Alex Carey apparently has conceded more byes than some record.
22 byes he has conceded.
Which is some recent time record for Australia apparently.
So on that note, I think Stark tried to bowl that Rory Burns ball to Yashasvi, the very first ball of the match. I think he tried to bowl that and the ball went straight byes for 5 runs. And he had a smile on his face.
Yeah. It went multiple times down the leg side. 111 runs he gave off the bat. Nobody counts a 30-40 he gave without the bat also. What Rory Burns, entire Australia is burning.
But Sandyji explained this is Australia also bowled 11 in the second innings. Huh?
11 no balls. Yes.
11 distinct no balls.
But it's a very long innings.
I don't know. They've bowled 66 extras in the match.
We didn't have Jadeja. Still we got no balls.
Even
Bumrah bowled some 5. So many. Yeah.
Bumrah was bowling so well, he wanted to bowl more balls. So
what's the explanation?
No, they're trying to generate extra pace.
Hey, introduce some new concept like Fremantle doctor, waste fellows.
No, I'll explain better. Point of release. You know how everybody's talking about Jasprit point of release. He's like, I want even closer point of release. I'll keep coming closer and closer. One point of release be very close to the bat. So this was one of his steps in that direction. Right, moving towards it.
He pulled out too late. You're saying
something like that.
Greatest bowler, even greatest booty.
No, that was Rohit Sharma.
Rohit Sharma didn't pull out well. Rohit Sharma pulls well. You're missing everything.
So basically, but still Australia wins the no ball count because Josh Hazelwood went and overstepped the line one more time in press conference. So.
The Fremantle doctor that used to be at the old Waka, right? Used to be a thing. It's no longer a thing at the Optus, yeah, because the Waka ground is closer to the water, and this one is more inland. So
unlike Chepauk, they have not built gaps in the stands.
Correct.
So the sea breeze doesn't come in.
Yes, so the Optus is a full this thing. So the Fremantle doctor is not that much a thing here. However, one of the radio commentary teams, I don't know if it was 7 or SEN, they for some reason they want to create more hype and distinction. So they put their commentators on the roof of the Optus Stadium, harnessed to the poles. They were doing commentary from there. And then apparently they were complaining of the Fremantle doctor. I mean, if you're at the top of the stadium harnessed, you will get every doctor only. You will need real doctor if the harness goes away. It's so funny to see because they have such a short summer and only so many games that they play. They try everything they want to do to get eyeballs and jam at you. So whether it's trying to create poverty porn for the mid-inning show or dangling commentators with harnesses, they're doing everything in their power. In fact, they even got some AFL guys doing the mid-inning show to talk to Mark Howard and ask them what they think about cricket.
Some of those commentators who were harnessed to the top of the stadium are now harnessed to the top of the tent where Yashasvi Jaiswal used to live. That is how crazy.
Did they get a harness allowance? But it's hardship allowance, no? Okay, fine.
No.
Only if you erect the tent, you will get hardness allowance.
Point about the Fremantle doctor. We just had the US elections where the swing states decided who would be POTUS. But in Australia, lack of swing is what we have at OPTUS.
And in Maharashtra, we have Lotus.
So we have a gap between the next test because I think this Friday we have them playing against the Prime Minister's 11.
Is that Draupadi Murmu's team?
That is President.
No, but apparently the Australian Prime Minister's 11 is picked by the Prime Minister.
Albus Dumbledore, is he still the Prime Minister or did it change?
Whoever it is.
Anthony Albanese.
Spaghetti
but apparently
Bolognese.
it's the players they want to see it. So it's not like this. They'll pick a play and just say, okay, this is the PM's 11. Apparently PM has a say in the PM's 11.
Thank God, if this happened in India, Jai Shah would be in the PM 11.
In India, PM anyway picks 11.
So yeah, that's coming up this Friday.
Okay.
But guys, one question. Do you think winning the toss was crucial?
No.
Yes.
Why?
So it's 50-50 like the toss itself. Very good.
Got bowled out for 150 and you're saying that they had the toss advantage. I don't know what you're saying. The pitch was actually at its best to bat on today in the 4th innings.
At the toss, Cummins said they weren't sure if they wanted to bat or ball.
Doesn't matter. It didn't have an impact in the game because India got bowled out for 150.
I know. That is
Are you resulting?
That is definitely resulting. You don't have to ask the question also.
No.
The only way you can say it was a good toss to win or lose is if the decision made at the toss had a tangible impact in how the game progressed. It didn't in this case.
So at the toss, Bumrah said they wanted to bat, right? And he said they always wanted to bat. That was what they're looking to do. Cummins said they weren't sure. So they were happy to lose the toss and take whatever came their way. Right? That was their thing. India's plans were always to bat. And so therefore they batted and it was...
How does this prove that it was a good toss to win?
Yeah, wait, what are you saying? Max, what is your point?
No. My point is they did what they wanted to do. Now, whether it worked out in their favor or not, that only time can tell. But
how much time the match is over?
That's what, dude. That is the result.
In 2040, you will tell us whether this was a good toss to win.
Okay, it's a good toss to win if you get to do what you want to do.
No, the toss didn't matter in
in
this match. Yeah,
exactly. The toss didn't matter in this match.
Then toss never matters in any game.
No, New Zealand first match in Bangalore.
Dubai World Cup was won by toss.
New Zealand in Bangalore, we won the toss, we batted.
That was a bad toss to win.
The bad toss. Same as World Cup final last November.
But that is always looking in hindsight and saying, had you won or not? No, at that time, if you got to pick your choice, that is what you want to do.
At that time, every toss is a good toss to win. Who wants to lose the toss going into... Sir, I don't want toss. You do whatever you want. Let us not spin the coin. No team says that, no. I don't want to win the toss. I also don't want to win the toss. What do we do? Okay, we'll have a slow race. Whoever comes last will not bat first.
Max, the definition is not resulting. We are saying that it is a good or bad toss to win or lose only if one team got asymmetrical conditions.
Advantage. Exactly.
Yeah. In this match, there were no asymmetrical conditions per se.
Yeah. Exactly like Bumrah's backside, everything was symmetrical. So it was good. Next test match, Adelaide. So all the Australian fortresses are being breached, right? So the last time India went to Australia, they breached Gabba, and now Shamar Joseph also ran through Gabba. So Gabba is not a fortress anymore. OPTUS was a fortress until now. They had never lost at OPTUS. It is not a fortress anymore. Adelaide day-night test matches, Australia have never lost, and they are going to play in Adelaide next. And of course, there is the small matter of 36 for 9. Yeah.
Samar Joseph also ensured that Australia loses a day-night test.
But they've never exactly. But they've never lost in Adelaide. So, what does this mean? What is going to happen in the next Test match? What are
Nothing's going to happen. Row is going to come back. We're going to go back to what we're doing. Please. This much hype and all you don't give.
Full inversion, right, from last time, because in 2020, India played the first test in Adelaide, day night, and we know what happened, 36 for 9. Lost their captain after the first test. Stand-in captain came in the second test match, nobody gave India a chance, and they won. That, of course, was in Melbourne, not in Perth. This time, it is the exact reverse. By the way, India's stand-in captains have a great record against Australia. Rahane has won twice.
Our standing captain is no longer standing captain. Regular captain comes, so we lose.
So that is your take.
Let us keep it there. We're happy here.
Nitin, you're saying stand-in captains have been stand-out captains.
Exactly. I was waiting for you to go for that one because otherwise I would have. Thanks.
Why do we have a delayed start to the Adelaide Test?
Because we have Prime Minister's 11, the most important game. We should say.
So they're going from Perth to Canberra and then coming back to Adelaide and then
you
going,
are the
what
Canberra
is this?
expert. The reason why the Adelaide Test match is delayed is because Justice Adelaide is Justice Adelaide. The PM has to pick the 11 first. And he is like the overseer of all laws in Australia.
We should discuss the team for the PM's 11 match rather than. And PM's team also we should discuss.
Sydney Sweeney will open with. There are some other funny guys. Sam Constas. Will Sam Constas play the next test, guys? All these new players.
Yeah, they will decide based.
Important thing is to Canberra, will Yuvraj Singh be going and will some actress be following him or not?
With chappals.
I thought they will definitely play Jai Richardson. And in a Shield match, I think today he got injured while celebrating his wicket.
So, high-fiving.
Yeah, high-fiving.
It's so not even a proper high-five, man.
He got Hassan Ali.
So Rohit will play in Canberra, I assume. No news if Shami is going to make the trip, right?
Shami is not going to play in Adelaide for sure. If at all, I think he'll play the last 2 test matches.
What's the word on Gill?
Fine. I don't think Gill was really injured until I think they made it up.
Rule of thumb.
We don't know whether Gill is injured or not, so he might not play the second test.
But has he got a clean Gill of health?
The Fremantle doctor is yet to opine on that.
One thing, guys. Bumrah-Gambhir has been coach for 3 months now. I'm sure it is his hand. I mean, he has some role to play in the 11s that are getting picked. India is going with some really crazy 11s into test matches. Who thought Washington Sundar was coming back into the team against New Zealand?
This is what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Is basically Bumrah has brought back... this is the rebirth of the fuckboy era. Like our relationship with India has followed exactly the Mark Zuckerberg trajectory, right? Basically right now we are in a very toxic relationship with Indian cricket. We were in a stable relationship. All of us, Indian fans.
Oh, we are in toxic.
You used to know that guaranteed India will win at home, right? Like for whatever, 16 years, 12 years, something we hadn't lost a series, nothing like that. Correct. And then if we had won that, we would have come here with full confidence saying, hey, we're going to WTC finals, and probably this wouldn't have mattered. Right now, full entertainment is happening. No stability, absolute fuckboyness is happening. We are in a toxic relationship and I'm all for it. Because sport is much more entertaining when it is mercurial. No? What is the point of guaranteed win every time? Nobody gave credit to Shaz Cole. So I am all for Bumrah-Gambhir's random experiments.
So you prefer being a Pakistani cricket fan. Just say that. You want to be a Pakistan cricket fan. You don't like to be an Australian cricket fan. You want to be a Pakistan cricket fan. Okay.
I was just about to say, hi, sign up. we understand you now.
I would just want to say, whatever Tony said in the last 1 minute is what if Gautam Gambhir was a podcaster, that is what you would have got, guys. You would have got a series of incoherent sentences where you are left wondering, and somehow it works. Somehow it works, right? It all sounds so coherent and stuff. Nitish Kumar Reddy and the other fellow, I keep forgetting, Harshit Rana, the badly behaved guy from Kolkata Knight Riders. Them getting debuts in this test match. Washington Sundar becoming number one spinner. Dhruv Jurel played as a specialist batsman in Perth, guys, in the opening test match of a Border Gavaskar series. And Devdutt Padikkal, out of nowhere, is batting at number 3 because Gill got injured in his thumb playing some simulation. Like, what is going on? And they win also. I think whatever Gambhir is doing, I think he should keep doing that.
It worked once. One time. 4-1 is still
Washington
possible.
Washington Sundar picked like how many wickets against New Zealand?
3-0 we lost. 3-0. We lost the entire series.
I'm talking about the selections. From a selection perspective, he's throwing extremely unusual things into the mix and they've worked so far, is all I'm saying. Has he made a single selection that has backfired so far? No. And Rahul Dravid is very safe with selections, right? Let's face it. So was, to a large extent, Ravi Shastri was also safe. Yeah, your Karan Sharma and all happened, but I think at the back end of his coaching stint, it was very predictable, like the 11s that India would play.
More or less, the 11 was kind of, everyone knew what the 11 was for this game. Everyone knew Rana was going to debut, Padikkal was going to play at 3, Jurel was going to play.
Everyone knew. I had no idea.
Nobody knew
anything. The only rug that got pulled under was when they said Ashwin had a spring in his step and was getting ready to play, and then suddenly in the morning they say it is Washi.
Actually, the only thing we knew was Ashwin won't play.
The poor chap, they asked him to even hand the debut cap to Harshit Rana. Yeah. Right? They called him, he made him a speech and gave a debut cap to Harshit Rana, and then they said, boss, you're not playing the 11. That was the most heartbreaking thing.
No, the fact that this was known 3 days before the test match is, I'm not debating that. I'm saying the fact that this actually was the 11.
Now we also know that Ashwin won't play any of the other 4 matches because he's gone to CSK now. He's gone to CSK. Yeah, that's all. Over.
That is a sign. I think CSK also picked him because they know that, okay, now he's going into the Dhoni phase of his life. Yeah. Golden sunset in yellow.
Don't put words in my mouth. You keep all your useless opinions in your kundi.
I don't have an opinion. I'm just saying Gambhir is making extremely interesting selections and they're working. And long may the working continue. I don't know. Who will play the next test match, guys? Who knows? Sarfaraz Ahmed might be the opening bowler for India. Who knows? Dhruv Jurel with the new ball. Something might happen.
Or Vaibhav Suryavanshi might be called in.
On to more interesting things. The WTC table currently led by India, who are on top. And everyone wanted to know scenarios. I think the best.
Just wanted to ask, do you do this on Power BI or you have it on Excel sheet that you share with
Mario
ICC?
Table Dad.
I have nothing. I use calculator every time.
You only share with ICC. Yeah.
The basic question that everyone wanted to know is, will 3-2 do, right? And 3-2 will do because if India win 2 more tests and Australia win the other 2, for Australia to go above India, they'll have to win outright 2 matches against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka. 1 draw or 1 rain out also means India will be on top. So it is very much in our own hands.
The last 4 BGTs have ended 2-1.
With great luck and we have won one single test match. Already you're talking about 3, 1+1+1 it seems. Sir,
no, 3-2 would be a disappointment for India because they have not lost 2 test matches in a tour series against Australia for like 7 years.
Please temper your BNP jinx.
South Africa are definitely playing the final, guys. I don't see any way they're not going to win 4 test matches against Sri Lanka and Pakistan at home. Unless Lasith Embuldenia suddenly shows up or Aqib Javed modifies the pitches.
Sarfaraz Ahmed is a Pakistani cricketer a day. Loose fellow. Sarfaraz. He said Sarfaraz Ahmed will open the bowling.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
Bloody rascal.
Back.
I thought he meant Sarfaraz Nawaz. That's why I kept quiet.
That's why he kept quiet.
Imagine Murli all this while was keeping it inside him because he could not unmute it.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning into the Perth episode of the Bits and Pieces podcast.
The re-Perth.
We will apparently be back next week to talk about IPL auctions, by which time nobody in the world except for Max Da Vinci is going to care about it. So we will instead talk about Draupadi Murmu 11 playing Board President's 11 match against Jay Shah 11. That is, no, Australians are involved in this.
Spaghetti Bolognese 11.
Spaghetti Bolognese versus Albus Dumbledore 11. And then there will be an Adelaide Day Night Test match, and we will hit 150 episodes on Bits and Pieces, which is the same score that Yashasvi Jaiswal got in this wonderfully historic Test match. And we hope to have a lot more great cricket coming our way. Until we see you again, please let your friends know about Bits and Pieces. Hit a like, drop a comment for us on YouTube, and stay tuned for more episodes of this wonderful podcast. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Okay, bye.
Day Yashasvi got 161.
Yeah. At least you didn't have echo. You could tell me now itself, not after we all left.
Hey, include no perfect outro you got.
This will be in the episode.
Can you end the recording?